wasn't supposed to enter. Not him. Not me.
The night had begun like any other. I was dressed in my usual casual attire, expecting a quiet evening to myself. I hadn't planned to go anywhere near my wife's world tonight, but somehow curiosity got the better of me. She had been talking about her new club for weeks, bragging about its exclusivity and the tight-knit circle of people she now associated with. I hadn't imagined I'd ever step foot in it. As I approached the sleek black doors, the bouncer stationed outside gave me a once-over. His expression was stern, unyielding. "Members only, sir," he said, blocking my path. I could see that he wasn't joking. The velvet rope, the faint glow of the neon lights behind it, and the quiet murmur of laughter inside all made it clear this wasn't a place for outsiders. I hesitated, unsure whether to push my luck or turn away. My instincts told me to leave, to respect the boundary, but another part of me was insistent. This was my wife's life I was about to glimpse, and I wasn't going to stay in the dark about it. I tried to explain myself politely, my tone calm but firm. "I'm here to see my wife," I said. The bouncer shook his head and crossed his arms. "I'm sorry, sir. I can't let anyone in without a membership. No exceptions." I stepped back, frustrated. That's when I saw her boss, the club manager, coming toward the entrance. He had been speaking with someone inside but froze the moment he noticed me. His face went pale, and for a second I thought he might have turned to stone. There was recognition, shock, maybe even fear. The intensity of his reaction caught me completely off guard. "Is everything okay?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't answer immediately, his eyes darting nervously between me and the bouncer. Then slowly he said, "Sir, you shouldn't be here. This is private." There was a tremor in his voice, one that betrayed more than just concern for club protocol. I didn't fully understand what was happening, but I could feel the tension in the air. Something was wrong, something much bigger than a simple club rule. I could see the bouncer beginning to shift uncomfortably, sensing the gravity of the moment. "I'm not here to cause trouble," I said. I need to see my wife. She's expecting me, or at least she should be." My words hung in the air, heavy and demanding. The manager swallowed hard, as if trying to find the right words to explain why my presence was causing such alarm. Finally, he stepped aside slightly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Inside, just for a moment, but please, don't draw attention." I nodded, careful not to push further. The bouncer reluctantly moved, allowing me through the velvet rope. The inside of the club was nothing like I had imagined. It was sophisticated, almost otherworldly, bathed in soft lights that made the patrons appear ethereal. The air smelled of expensive perfumes and faint traces of smoke. I scanned the room, looking for my wife, and my heart skipped when I finally saw her. She was laughing, surrounded by a group of women who looked as elegant as she did, her eyes sparkling in the dim light. But when she noticed me, the laughter died instantly. Her smile vanished, replaced by an expression of shock and confusion. She whispered something to one of her friends and started walking toward me, but her pace faltered. I could feel the tension building, the silent electricity between us, as though the air itself was holding its breath. People around us began to notice, turning their heads, sensing the disruption I had unintentionally caused. I didn't know you'd be here," she said, her voice barely audible, filled with a mixture of embarrassment and worry. "What are you doing here?" I could see her struggling to find the right words, her hands trembling slightly. "I needed to see you," I replied, my voice calm but firm. "I couldn't just stay outside, wondering what this place was all about. I needed to see for myself." Her eyes widened and she glanced nervously toward her boss, who was still standing not far away, his face pale as a ghost. The manager took a step forward, and I could sense the panic returning to his features. "Sir, this isn't the place for this," he said, his tone almost pleading. "You don't understand. There are rules here, things that could get complicated if outsiders." He stopped abruptly, realizing that words couldn't convey the situation without revealing too much. I looked at him, and for a moment I understood. This wasn't just about club membership. This was about secrets, about boundaries, about a world my wife had stepped into without fully telling me. And now I was standing right in the middle of it, disrupting the fragile balance she had created. My wife took my hand, pulling me gently aside. "We need to leave," she whispered urgently, her eyes darting back toward her boss. Now, I followed her, sensing the unspoken urgency. As we exited, the whispers behind us followed, the murmurs of people trying to understand what had just happened. Outside, the cool night air hit us like a splash of reality. My wife took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. "You can't just walk into my life like that," she said softly, more hurt than angry. "This is my space. I've worked hard to get here, to be part of something that's mine. And now, you've thrown it all into chaos." I nodded, realizing the truth of her words. I had crossed the line, not out of malice, but out of curiosity and concern. "I didn't mean to disrupt anything," I said. I needed to know. To understand where you've been, what you've been part of." She looked at me for a long moment, her eyes searching mine for the right answer. Then she sighed, a mixture of frustration and resignation. "I'll explain," she said finally, "but not here. Not now. There's a lot you don't know, and a lot that can't be explained in front of everyone." As we walked away from the club, hand in hand, the weight of what had happened lingered between us. Her boss's pale face, the murmurs of the patrons, the strict rules of the club, all of it was a reminder that my curiosity had crossed into a world I didn't fully belong to. But I also realized something else. My presence had shattered the illusion of control she had carefully maintained. And now the truth, whatever it was, could no longer remain hidden. That night, as we reached the quiet of our home, the tension finally eased, but only slightly. I knew there would be questions, difficult conversations, and perhaps consequences neither of us had anticipated. But one thing was certain, nothing would ever be the same again. My wife's world had collided with mine, and there was no going back. And somewhere deep down, I couldn't help but feel a thrill at having glimpsed the secrets behind the doors that were supposed to remain closed. The drama, the shock, the unspoken truths, it was only the beginning.